the channel and another video here on OLT TV. Today I've got something a little different than what we usually go for on the channel, and it's in the shape of the new Ford Puma. So I picked this up on Monday and it's actually been quite enjoyable zooming through central London, up and down the M25 and on some country roads in Sevenoaks for the last week. It's not the type of car I'd usually go for, to be fair, but it has actually been pleasantly surprising, so I thought why not give it a little thoughts and impressions of it. So the Puma is Ford's new baby compact SUV, not to be confused with the Coupe that obviously released in the 90s with the same name. It's slightly bigger than the Focus, but it takes a lot of styling points from the new shape Fiesta. This is Ford's second attempt at a compact SUV, first being the EcoSport. Its closest rivals are probably the Nissan Juke, Skoda Kamiq, and the Volkswagen T-Roc, to be honest. But for me, if I had to pick one of them, it would definitely be this or probably the T-Roc. So this is the ST Line X spec variant, and it adds a few things to the looks of the car when you compare it to this entry spec titanium. You've obviously got the blacked out Puma badge, and you've got this bigger exhaust pipe at the bottom here, which the titanium spec doesn't come with. It obviously enhances the sporty look to it. It's obviously got the chunky arches on the back of the vehicle, and the headlights are also darkened to go with the dark paint. As you come to the side, the styling points you can add from this are, you have these 19-inch 5-spoke contrasting colour alloys as well, with the black and the silver. They're obviously on the steel discs, and then you've also got this side skirt that's been added to the ST Line spec variants, so the original and base specs won't come with this. You can also see the ST Line marking, and that comes round to the front as well, to be honest. So other variants will have a white or silver grille. This is obviously all being blacked out to make the sleek, sportier sort of look to it. And the full LED headlights as well come on the ST Line. You can upgrade these further, I think, on the higher ST version of the vehicle. So some more general info on this model specifically. It's a 1 litre 3-cylinder petrol, which gives about 155 brake horsepower and 180 pounds-feet of torque. Comes in with a 0 to 60 time of about 9 seconds. I think it's just under 9, about 8.9, with a top speed of 124 miles an hour. It's a manual gearbox and it's a 6-speed. It's certainly got enough power for your daily driving, and it's surprisingly nippy, to be honest, which comes down to the EcoBoost technology Ford have put in the car. If you wanted more performance, there is the ST version of the Puma, which takes the engine from the Fiesta ST. Also adds some bespoke suspension to help cornering. The majority of people who probably get into this are maybe new drivers who want something a little bit bigger. It's not exactly a first car. I still think the Fiesta would be the better option for a first car for someone, but as a family car, it's obviously got the 4 or 5 doors, and it is a very decent little motor, to be honest. It's not overly big and it's not too small. It's very capable in doing everything you need it to do as a compact SUV. It's certainly good on sizing, and it's certainly got its pros and cons to it compared to the competition. Coming inside the Puma then, it's not a bad place to be in all honesty. The ST Line specs have these sportier seats than the titanium ones. It's got the mixed leather with the fabric, and you've also got this red stitching throughout the interior. You obviously see it on the wheel across this side, all over the dash, and at the back as well. You've got the 3 seats in the back here with the stitching all throughout. Privacy glass on the windows, which is an ST Line option as well. The ST Line also gets this carbon fibre looking finish on the interior. This goes round the vents, across the dash, in the centre console, and over to the passenger side when the camera focuses as well. Yeah, it's pretty decent, to be honest. It definitely gives it that sportier feel on the inside. As you step in, you've got a 12-inch display on the inside, which once you start it with this Puma. A decent little cockpit to have. The standard model of the Puma doesn't come with that. It comes with a manual dash. When you start it up, you're also greeted with this 8-inch display in the center console, which controls everything from your infotainment, audio, phone if you want to connect the phone up. You got your nav, and you can also set up Apple CarPlay, which is spot on. That's all anyone needs. As you can see, it's got the speed on the left and the rev counter on the right. But if you use a steering wheel and you can flick through, it can bring up a number of different things. You got the eco behavior, tire pressures, calm. I'm still yet to work out what this calm screen is. With hours of driving, I've still never found out what it actually is, but then just disappears. You got your fuel economy, your trips, and traffic signs, which is quite good. There must be a camera on the outside of the vehicle, or it takes off a GPS signal and works out the speeds of the road, so that's very helpful if you're obviously driving somewhere you don't know, and can also give camera warnings for any upcoming cameras. Down by the handbrake, so you've got a normal fixed handbrake here. Down here though, you do have the option for your drive select, your traction control off, and auto stop start. So once you choose the driver select, you can flick through and it brings up another display of normal. You got eco, sport, slippery, and trail. Obviously these options, should you ever want to test the utility aspects of the vehicle, you've got them. The traction control button as well, which you can play around with. The visibility as such isn't too bad, in all honesty. A bigger sort of window, but the chunkier pillars to the window make it a bit more difficult to see out. The wing mirrors are nice enough, spacious, and offer good visibility as well. And it comes with parking sensors, but no camera. We'll show you the camera. Show you the parking sensors. So the parking sensor's simple, like most modern cars, comes up like that. And you can turn it on or off, the park pilot. That's a negative to it. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier in the interior is actually the ST lines come with a Bang & Olufsen sound system as a standard option on the ST lines. And from the past few days of driving on the motorway through London and on some country roads, the sound system is pretty spot on, to be honest. In the car, it's got the front 3, one's in the bottom down there on the door bins, and a few in the back. Very decent sound system. It keeps the wind noise to a minimum. Obviously on the motorway there is quite a bit of tyre noise. Obviously the 19-inch alloys aren't great, but they're not huge, so the ride is comfortable enough, but they are quite loud. And then obviously you've got the fuel economy, which I forgot to show earlier. 42.2 average miles per gallon. That's combined as well, so that's maybe 30 miles a day on the motorway and 10 miles in central London. So 42.2, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to run. The insurance bracket's fairly low on these, so again, it's going to be pretty cheap to cover yourself on this. And from what I was seeing a few days ago, there's a few finance deals out for £150 to £180 per month, which isn't bad at all for a brand new Ford. They're very reliable cars. The warranty will be spot on with them, and they're not going to break down and cost you an arm or a leg to sort. All in all then, the Ford Puma ST line in the X-Spec isn't too bad at all, to be honest. I've had it for the past 4 days now, as I've said, and it's done the job. It's carried all my equipment and kit that I've had. It's got us everywhere in comfort. It's not had any issues at all. It's nippy, it's agile, it has that SUV sort of feel to it, but also it's very similar to a Fiesta in all senses. Someone on the street who didn't know their cars would probably think it's a newer shaped Fiesta or a facelifted Focus. And yeah, it kind of is a mix of the two, if I'm honest. The good aspects of the Fiesta's styling and drivetrain and handling, and mixes in a bit of a more spacious feel. I think it honestly does work well. You really can't go too wrong with it.